thanks to the supporters at channel member Mark Gowans. Well, we'll have no more of this talk of potentially leaving. We had a nice little January transfer window in the end, and now the focus is 100% on trying to get Burton Albion into the Premier League, which is a ridiculous sentence. Hello and welcome to Club 2, Part 19 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we have two games for you in the Championship. We're at home against both Lincoln and Plymouth. Since you were last with me, we got back to winning ways eventually after that iffy January, while all the Birmingham shenanigans were going on, where we weren't winning at all. We managed to beat Blackburn and went on a little winning run from there. It has come to a screeching halt in the last two matches when we played two of our promotion rivals, Norwich and Hull, picking up only 1 point from those two difficult away games. We did only concede one goal during those two games as well, though. So I don't think it was a disastrous outcome. And today we've got a couple of games at home that should be a little bit more winnable, which hopefully will get us back into the automatic promotion spots. This is what the league table looks like. We're 2 points behind Bristol City, but do have a game in hand and two home games coming up. So cross those fingers, boys and girls, because you know me, don't really fancy the playoffs. Not that promotion this season was ever on the cards, but now we're this close we can taste it. I want to do it automatically and not have to worry about the playoffs. I mentioned we did do the January transfer window as well. I think you saw a lot of it in yesterday's video. There's just a few little deadline bits that happened to make you aware of. Firstly, Joe Gelhardt went to Ipswich on loan, where he's had quite a decent start to life in League One. Dare I say, maybe he's found his level down there. We also loaned out Imari Samuels. He's gone to Livingston. We were actually trying to loan out Wilson Esbrand, but no one wanted him, mainly because he's on 22 grand a week. We got an offer in for Samuels, so we figured that was another way to get down to fewer left backs at the club, which was ultimately the goal. You already met Vidovic, who's our club record signing at £975,000 from Wolfsburg. And as you can see, he has started with a bang. What a signing this guy is turning out to be. 6 goal contributions from his first 7 matches. His first 3 matches, he wasn't match fit. He is getting better and better all the time, averaging a 7.26. We have a Premier League player on our hands there. Not that my staff have noticed. We also, on deadline day, signed Nicoli Suarez. No idea. I don't know how to say either of this guy's name, but it's another central defender on loan from Manchester United. We've got 2 of them now, so we've got Jackson as well, obviously. He actually played 2 games in the Premier League for United earlier this season. They seem to think very highly of him, and he's come straight in and into our team and is looking very good as well. So this is our team for the first of today's 2 games against Lincoln. We're going with Ward in goal. I mentioned yesterday that Bajic was our first choice keeper. Now, he then picked up an injury. Ward got back in, and I've not seen a reason to drop Ward yet. If you look at the form in the last 5 games, 7.22 versus 6.86. Ward is currently the man in possession once again. So Ward in goal. A back four of Scales, Soares, Rojas and Debye, Alonso and Powell in midfield, Vidovic, Devine and O'Donoghue supporting Ross Stewart up front. Let's get this team submitted and fingers crossed get back to scoring some goals and winning some football matches. Every time we've played teams of the caliber of Lincoln recently, we've won pretty comfortably. Obviously, we've had those couple of difficult games against better teams in Norwich and Hull, but fingers crossed, this is our return to winning ways. It's our opportunity to go back into the automatic promotion spots. I think Sunderland probably are going to be strong enough to go on and win the league, but we are certainly eyeing that second automatic promotion spot. And if we can pick up a couple of wins today, we give ourselves a real chance of getting there. And if we can stay reasonably close to Sunderland, we actually play them on the penultimate day of the season. So the dream scenario, both us and Sunderland get ourselves promoted with 2 or 3 games to spare, and then we play Sunderland and win the league against them. That's my long-term plan. If I was writing a script for this, and believe me, I would love to, but if I was scripting this, that's how it would happen. Vidovic with the cross, it's not really dealt with by the Lincoln goalkeeper. It ends up all the way back with Rodrigo. They've kind of scrambled it clear, and it's with Scales and now Rodrigo. Back to Rojas. Rojas gives it back to Rodrigo, and he's got a little bit of space here. If he can find Debye, he can. O'Donoghue now bursting into the area, and Damien O'Donoghue in the second half of this season is really starting to come into his own. He didn't really establish himself in the first half of the season. Was in and out of the team, rotating with Clayton. But O'Donoghue's had a little run of games recently. Clayton was one of a few players who had the poorly sick virus that went around the club for a little while. That's what took Bajic down. It took Clayton out of the team again. And O'Donoghue has definitely benefited from getting a little run of games and is starting to score some goals as well off that right-hand side. I think he's also massively benefited from the arrival of Vidovic because he's there to score on the opposite wing from the crosses that are coming in from Vidovic. It's similar to what we were doing with Tamworth way back in the early days there, where we would get lots of goals from our wingers scoring from the winger on the other side, delivering the crosses. Vidovic is setting O'Donoghue up on a plate quite regularly, and we're still quite good at set pieces, as you've seen here. Although, to be fair, I would argue this probably isn't a goal from a set piece. It is another assist for Vidovic because he's just an assist machine. And but I mean, it was the highlight was a set piece. We'll call it a set. I wonder if the game declares that a set piece goal, or if the fact that it was cleared and came back in. But I don't think that's a set piece goal. Let me know down in the comment section whether you think it was a set piece goal. By the way, as well, I know I asked yesterday about potential skins for the game. I'm recording this video yesterday afternoon as well, so I haven't seen your replies to that yet. I assume I got lots of replies. On the off chance that I didn't, let me know down in the comments what a good skin for me to use on FM24 is. The reason I'm asking, as we looked at yesterday, for some reason, since switching the computer that I play FM on, although we've got rid of the aliens that have been plaguing us since November, what we haven't got now is the homepage setup how I want it to be set up, because it keeps resetting itself and I don't know why. We've changed one glitch and just swapped in another one, which is just as annoying, to be honest, but in a different way. It's more of an off-camera annoyance, but I use that screen quite a lot when I'm, making football management decisions, and it's quite annoying either having to constantly reset the screen or go in and click on the individual screens. I don't like to click any more than is absolutely necessary, and at the moment my fingers are getting far too much of a workout. I know it's January and we're all trying to take some of the Christmas weight off and get a little bit more exercise. My fingers are fine. It's the one part of my body that regularly my fingers, I would say, top 10% most muscular fingers in the world. I'd be willing to prove that. So how would you prove such a thing? I mean, I click my mouse a lot. My fingers, top quality. What am I talking about at the moment? I don't really understand. I mean, we're winning comfortably, and I think that's part of the problem. It's everything. We're in cruise control now until the end of the season. Unless something goes wrong, we should find ourselves tomorrow, hopefully, and I am touching wood with crossed fingers as I say this, but my plan at the moment is that tomorrow's episode is us securing promotion to the Premier League. I don't know how likely it is to happen. I am still expecting the wheels to fall off. And we saw what happened to form in January. I think that was potentially happening. We're just getting the early signs of things starting to go wrong. But I suspect the signing of Vidovic, with him being such a high quality player, has counteracted that a little bit. And I mean, since he's arrived, he's been one of the best players in the Championship, one would argue. Right, Danny Ward needs to prove here why he should continue as our goalkeeper for the rest of the season. He has not. That's whatever league we're in next year, I think we need a goalkeeper. Ward was only ever a 1-year stopgap, and Bajic hasn't forced him out of the team the way I hoped he would. Neither of them are Premier League quality or team trying to get promoted to the Premier League quality, and we'll be one of those two next year, that's for sure. And either way, we need a goalkeeper upgrade. I mean, Jacob Stolazic, who's in goal for Lincoln here, is a player I've signed on multiple FMs in the past. I don't know that he's necessarily a solution this time around if he's playing for Lincoln, but it's probably worth maybe dropping a little bit of a scout on him based on how well he's playing today. It's within the rules, boys and girls, because great name. I'm probably not going to scout him. I will forget, but he has been the best player in the Lincoln team. He's kept them in it, despite the fact they've conceded 2 goals. So it has been a good performance from Stolazic. Right, Vidovic, still not 100% super duper fit is going to come off for Patrick Roberts. We're also going to bring on Miles Leaburn, and we're going to bring on Xavier Simons in midfield, which allows Alonso to move into his actual preferred role as the deep lying playmaker. We've got two guys there who both want to be playmakers. Simons, much more of a person kicker when he comes on to play in that role. So we've been using him a little bit more in this second half of the season. And did I mention Damien O'Donoghue is getting better and better all the time? What a goal that was from the youngster who joined us from Manchester United in the summer. It's taken him a little bit of time to find his feet, but he is a very, very good championship attacker at this point, which is lovely to see for us and for his development. Not ideal for Jack Clayton, who I was very high on last season, but he might end up being a victim for the club advancing faster than he's advanced. Right, Stevanovic is gonna come on. Roberts can move into that role, and then Jack Clayton can come on for O'Donoghue. Tiredness. I know O'Donoghue's on a hat trick and he's probably going to be a little bit miffed that he's come off, but we've got another important game coming up. I have no nostalgia is not the right word. What's the word I'm looking for here, boys and girls? I have no feelings. I don't care that he wants a hat trick. I want to make sure that he's fit to play and score again in the next game. That's much more important than him scoring an extra one in this game. That's a decent save from Danny Ward there. He's put in a pretty decent goalkeeping performance of his own today. While Stolisic has been doing that for Lincoln, that's a good save from Ward. It's the corner for Lincoln, and Ward was kind of facing the wrong way there. He's a confusing man. Sometimes he looks like a world beater. Sometimes he looks not like a world beater. I suspect that's why he's playing at this level, at this stage of his career. He's got all the tools to be a really good goalkeeper, but doesn't necessarily hold the right end of them. Right, Rodrigo plays it forward to Scarles, and now Stevanovic on the left-hand side, the biggest victim of our superstar new signing arriving, although he's picked up an assist there. And we've used last season's wide players to just do the kind of goal I was describing that's been working so well recently this season. It's the cross from Stevanovic, and Jack Clayton's there at the far post to nod home and just remind me that he exists. Meanwhile, O'Donoghue's just glaring at me on the bench because he knows full well if he'd have still been on the pitch, he'd have been in that position and he'd have also scored that goal and he would have had his first ever senior hat-trick. It's a consolation goal, or another consolation goal for Lincoln, as Ward once again reminds me that he is not the answer. We're not going to watch the replay for that one, but 4-2 today. This will do. Thank you very much. We've got 3 minutes of added time to come here, but I'd quite like us to just lump the ball upfield and then have the clock tick down. We don't need to be watching highlights to end this match. They can only end in Lincoln getting back into the game, surely. Roberts plays it back to Debye, and now Simons trying to give it to Roberts again, but it can't get through to him. Soares. I think it's Soares. We're committing to Soares, I think. Soares plays it forward to Scarles, and now Stevanovic again, who loses out on the ball, but Rodrigo just controlling things in midfield, as he always does. He has been an incredible signing for us this season, and now Simons tries to go past his man, but kind of runs himself into trouble there. But Soares once again demonstrating why he's just come in and gone straight into this team. And Patrick Roberts, bearing in mind he's never really been a consistent starter this year, has just weighed in with his 7th goal of the season, just to remind me, as everyone keeps reminding me, we've got a lot of very good players just like that one. It's why Joe Gelhardt never really stood a chance, because we've got 5 really high quality wide players and they can be used pretty much interchangeably. We've got 3 of them on the pitch at the moment and they've all been brilliant. Leaburn and Stewart kind of becoming the forgotten men as the centre forwards, because they're doing an important role. The 3 behind them, in whatever combination they are playing off the strikers. The strikers themselves aren't scoring a huge number of goals for us. If we look at our top scorers, I guess to be fair to Leaburn, 12 from 12 starts, but it's actually 12 from 30 appearances. Stewart's got 8 as well, but Devine with 15. O'Donoghue, Stevanovic, Roberts, all scoring decent numbers of goals, weighing in with good amount of assists as well. We've got some very, very good attacking players, but we are back up to 2nd in the league. And now we play Plymouth and hopefully go back-to-back wins and start to start to establish ourselves, get a proper hold of this second automatic promotion spot again. And it's just as well we've got so many good attacking midfielders, because two of them have decided to get injured before this game. O'Donoghue, who we were raving about loads, has twisted his knee, and then just as Jack Clayton looked like he was going to get back into the team as a result, he bruised his delicate little ribs. So neither of them able to start today. Patrick Roberts coming in on the right-hand side. Otherwise, it is an unchanged team from that one that you just saw play so very well against Lincoln, and fingers crossed we can come up with another good performance today. If we have a look to see where Plymouth are in the league, if we can have a look at the league. So Plymouth in 8th place, so they are higher in the league than Hull, who we've played recently, and we struggled against Hull. So Plymouth are one of the better teams in the league, but we are at home, although we don't have some of our major attacking threats. So Donoghue has just won Championship Player of the Month and Young Player of the Month in the same month, which I think that should happen more often. If a young player wins Player of the Month, of course they should win Young Player of the Month as well. It doesn't happen that often though. But O'Donoghue playing so well throughout, I want to say February. It could have been March. I think it was February. Playing so well throughout February that he did pick up that award. And Stewart's in here. And Ross Stewart has been handed a gift inside the first minute of the match. And we said we don't rely on him as much for goals anymore. But, I mean, if you're going to put a goal on a plate for him like that, he's Ross Stewart. He's going to score it. Goodness me, that's such a poor pass. Stewart, more alert than the defenders, and the goalkeeper just cuts in between them, gets there first, dinks the ball over the top of the keeper. It's 1-0, and that is lovely, lovely, lovely. Sunderland are playing Watford today. Watford are down in a relegation battle, so it's probably a game you would expect Sunderland to win. But in fact, they have just gone ahead, I think. Yeah, they have gone ahead. So at the moment, with 9 games to go, we're 5 points behind Sunderland. We really need to be looking backwards rather than looking up. We're not really interested in catching Sunderland. We don't need to win the league. We just want to get to the Premier League by any means possible. And the easiest route for us is to go up automatically, because me and the playoffs just don't mix. Roberts now trying to dance into the penalty area. He's been brought down there, but it's not been given as a foul. Scarles plays it back to Roberts, who's had a miraculous recovery, and now Scarles to Powell. Scarles drives it across goal again, looking for Devine, but it's ended up back with Debye, who is going to try and get one of these deep crosses from this right-hand side. It's Ross Stewart who's there again, but he was kind of twisting around. Oh, I mean, poor old Ross. I now know why he gets so many injuries. I've just tried to do the same twisting motion he's done, and my neck cracked. It was like a thunderclap going off in my ears. Oh, goodness me. I'm glad I'm wearing a tie, or else I'd be worried my head might fall off. Vidovic with the... I can see colour. That was such a crack of the neck. Goodness me. Oh. There you go. This is why I'm not a striker and Ross Stewart is, I guess. Powell to Soares. We said he's going to be Soares, didn't we? Rojas to Soares again. Scarles has had it about 5 times in this move. He should probably just do a cross. Every time he tries to lay a pass off, it gets handed back to him and he's told to do a cross. He does the cross. That's why everyone was telling him to. Ross Stewart is there using his head with his much stronger than mine neck. And it was that motion that time. See, that one doesn't. This is why he scored that one and not the other one. The twisting one hurts. That one, easy. I can do that one. 2-0 up. Ross Stewart deciding to prove a point after I've said we don't rely so much on the strikers anymore. He's just reminding me that on his day, he's still one of the best strikers in the if he was just a few years younger, if those few years he was injured for, if he could get them back somehow, he would be a £15 million striker. But at 31, probably not quite as exciting as if he was 27, 28, 29. But he is a consistently good attacker in this league. I take it back, Ross. You're a hero. Right, Debye with the cross, looking for Stewart again. Can he complete his hat-trick? He can't get there ahead of the Plymouth defender. And once again, it ends up with Scarles, he's basically camped out in that little gap between the edge of the Plymouth penalty area and their touchline, and he's just living there. He's acting like a winger. Right, Debye is injured. Jackson's going to come on. Rojas can go out to right back. We've done that plenty of times this season. I only play Jackson at right back when I'm playing playing the inverted wing back on the left-hand side, because then we get that 3-3-1 formation that we talked about yesterday, the day before. We've only just got the other side of Christmas. The days still don't really have any meaning just yet. We haven't had a full 5-day working week in about a month, probably. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Right, Roberts wins the ball back. Roberts has had a good game today. Plays it across to Powell, and Powell now to Devine, who looked up to decide if he was going to play it through to Roberts again, but instead has gone the more conservative route, played it back through to the defenders. There's the big deep cross again, and there's Ross Stewart again, and there is his hat-trick. This has been an example of wonderful centre-forward play from Ross Stewart today. Get the right defenders against him, and by that I mean the wrong defenders, and he's just absolutely unplayable. He is big, he's strong, he's quick, he's our captain, and he's just scored his 3rd goal of the day. And it's a Plymouth team that has one of my boys up front, Liam Delap, and Ross Stewart, demonstrating that he's on another level to Liam Delap as it stands right now. Right, Stevanovic is going to come on as Vidovic still not 100% ready to be playing full matches. We are running out of attacking midfield players. I'm actually going to put Joe Powell forward. I think this is the first time all season he's had the opportunity to play in what should be his best role as the attacking midfielder. But it allows us to bring Simons on again. Alonso gets to become the playmaker again. And I think this is, I mean, Powell has been with us since League Two. I don't know that Joe Powell will be starting if and when we reach the Premier League. So Alonso is probably the long-term occupant of that deep-lying playmaker position that Powell's been playing in all year. And he's just demonstrating why there. Collects the ball nicely, calmly plays it off to Jackson. And now Jackson gives it to Rojas, and Roberts back to Simons. Look at us just knocking the ball around beautifully. We're very, very comfortable on the ball. And we've got so many players whose positions are so interchangeable as well. Players who can play in various roles. Rodrigo, just another example of it, plays it forward for Stewart. We probably should have taken Ross Stewart off. He's done his job today. He's got his hat-trick. Lee Byrne could have had 20 minutes against this defence and probably had a lovely time as well. Simons from the edge of the area, and that's 4-0. And we are absolutely dominating Plymouth today. I said I hoped we'd get back to winning ways and get back to tearing teams apart again, and that's exactly what's happening. And as it stands right now, we are looking like a team that in just a couple of days' time will be playing in the Premier League. This is lovely work from us again. Scarl's involved in everything today, and he slides it across for the assist. That's 4-0, and it is time to take off Ross Stewart now. We don't want to break him. Lee Byrne can come on, and then Patrick Roberts. So we don't really want to bring on O'Donoghue or Clayton in this situation. We've only really got the Kitching and Chambers Shaw who could come on. So I guess what we'll do here is we'll take off Alonso and stick Chambers Shaw in as the playmaker. We've done that a few times this year. It's certainly not his best role, but he's more than capable of just sitting in there and occupying that position for the final 10 minutes of the game, just to give Rodrigo a little bit of a break. And hopefully we can get Lee Byrne a goal. Lee Byrne hasn't scored for a little while. So if we could find a way to bobble it to him as part of this move. I mean, Stewart had such fun aerially today. You would think the big boy up top would come on and have just as much fun, but maybe we didn't give him enough time to do it. And the poor old Plymouth goalkeeper has done a 5.9 there. He's not had a very nice day, but we have. We've had a lovely time. We play bottom of the table Coventry next. Things are starting to look good, boys and girls. We are going to be back tomorrow to play Sunderland in what could be a title decider. It could be a promotion decider. I mean, in the unlikely event we've secured promotion before then, I'll make sure I come back a little earlier to show you that. But I'm expecting tomorrow to be the finale of the season, including the showdown with Sunderland. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.